bio states that he finds it hard to escape his genetic destiny, which is pretty goddamn deep for a toddler. Like, let's just stop. Can he even talk yet? Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Caliente's video is coming next week, don't worry, but today we're going to be doing the entire history of the Brog family. They are one of my most favourite families from The Sims 2. I used to play them all the time. I absolutely love them. And I thought that I knew a lot about this family. I really did, but I guess not. In my little research that I've been doing, I found out a lot more. So we start off, their history begins in The Sims 3. The town Riverview, which is the town available from the Sims 3 store. I never got to play with it because it made my game really laggy, so I never got that joy. We meet the Newbie family, the Simovich family, and the Brog family. Bob and Betty Newbie are both teenagers in this, and Skip Brog is a child. Bob lives with his parents, Robert and Mags Newbie. They recently moved to the town. Mags is a very spontaneous person, so she just completely went all ahead with all of Robert's plans to move. And they live close to the Simmermon River? Simmermon? I don't know how you pronounce it, but they live next to the river, which could be because Robert is an avid fisher. He absolutely loves to fish, and Max is happy letting him, because then that means that she gets to cook all of the fish that Robert brings home. So Bob's parents, Robert and Mag, seem like they're a pretty decent couple that have a really good relationship together, but there is some contention between Bob and Robert. They're quite different people. So Robert is mostly outdoors. He absolutely loves fishing, so his career is outdoors fishing. Whereas Bob, the majority of his time is spent indoors, and he's also somewhat of a slob. Literally. So this kind of irritates Robert a bit. He wants his son to get out of the house more, to help around the house more. But to be honest, him spending all of his time indoors is probably fine, because to be honest, same. But also, he's a teenager, so it's kind of normal. And Robert spends a lot of his time outdoors, so anything compared to how much time Robert spends outdoors is probably a lot of time indoors. So it's quite a big contrast. So now on to Bob. His traits are good, bookworm, slob, and artistic, which kind of suits him well. And it is stated that he had a hard time adjusting to his new life in Riverview until he met his girlfriend Betty Simovich, which we will know as Betty Newbie in the future. As I've said, when he's not with Becky, his time is mainly just spent indoors. He also has one skill in painting, which I found a little bit bizarre. It kind of confuses me, but you know what? I'll go with it. Bob's a painter. Moving on to the Simovich family then, which is where Betty Newbie is originally from. Betty lives with her parents Fatima and Vadim Simovich. I have probably butchered them names. Vadim works as a fertilizer analyst in the science career, but Fatima has a much more interesting story, and to be honest, I completely love and support Fatima. I absolutely love Fatima. Fatima? So Fatima actually dreamed of being a rock star. She wanted it all. She wanted the glory, she wanted the fame, she wanted to be Hannah Montana. We all do. But those dreams stopped and came to a sharp halt so she could raise a family. But it's not all lost, because she hopes that a child, Becky with the good hair, Betty, which is Betty Newbie, she hopes that she will follow in her footsteps and become this massive famous star. And this does cause some tension between Fatima and Vadim, because Vadim just can't understand why Fatima wants the kid to be absolutely famous, but he's alright about it. Like, he just sits and focuses on the television instead. He's not that involved. And now for Betty. She's artistic, good, unflirty, and she's also a virtuoso. She is kind of following in her mum's footsteps with those traits, and it seems like Fatima's plan of making her into a star is going good so far. However, the plot thickens. She's into music, but it's not really what she wants to do with her life. Like, she doesn't want to become a massive pop star. She just wants to, sit in a house and play some tunes, and that's about it, really. And then finally, we move on to the Brog family, which are also in the Sims 3 Riverview. They live in a caravan park in Riverview, and they're well known for being the poorest family in town. And they are actually a big family, so there's a lot of people in it. Flat and Flo Brog met in high school, so the high school sweethearts. They had 2 children, Ruby and Skip. Skip is who we know in The Sims 2. Flat's brother, and then Flat's brother Buck. That's hard to say fast. He moved in the house with his 2 children as well, Trigger and Susie. So Ruby, Flat, Flo, and Buck. These names are really hard. They all hold part-time jobs so they can try and bring some income into the family so they won't be as poor. But obviously it's part-time jobs, so they get really minimal pay. They don't really have enough. And also, a fun fact, mostly everybody in the household has the party animal and slob traits. So that kind of explains why they're not going out and getting a full-time job, because, well, there's not going to be time to party. Personally, can't blame them. But Skip, who is a child in this timeline, he doesn't have the slob trait, which is quite bizarre because, all the family's pretty much the same. But his traits a light sleeper, which doesn't really complement his family's party animal trait. A daredevil. Oh wow, it's been a long day, and it's only 12:24. Wow. And he's neat, which again, like the light sleeper trait, doesn't complement his family at all. So He's got no chance, really. Absolutely no chance. But his bio does state that even though he wishes his family would tidy up more, he knows that he is loved, which I really like. I like that he included that because it doesn't really... Money doesn't necessarily equate love, do you know what I mean? You could be dirt poor and still have the best family, and that's what life's all about, really, isn't it? Just being happy with your family. You don't need to be the goth family. You don't need to have the money of the land grabs to be happy. You can just be happy with your family. Don't know why I was getting so deep there, but like, honestly, it's true, isn't it? Families always... What? Oh, well, none of it. There we go. I just broke the top. Anyway, moving on. Moving swiftly on. That was a pretty long part. I didn't expect them to be covered so much in Riverview, but like I said, I never got the chance to play with it that much because it was so laggy. But I think it is available for free, so if you have The Sims 3, I'm pretty sure you can get it from the Sims 3 store for free. But then moving on to The Sims 1, where I'm pretty sure we only see the newbie family, and these are actually included in the tutorial to play the game, so if you've ever played The Sims 1, you will have played with the newbie family. And they are new to the town as well. They live in number 7 Sim Lane, and it harbours quite a small house on the lot, even though the lot is actually quite a big house. Got a swimming pool though, which is a bit odd. Kind of hints at foreshadowing and kind of hints at not being very good with money. Bob is also presented as a little bit of a slob. He wears clothes with grease stains. He's not the most presentable person, and his marriage to Betty doesn't seem too great. They're only at friendship level. You have to work to get their marriage to a good thing, but at least the friends. Like, always marry your friends, not just all of your friends, but like, you want the person that you're in a relationship with to be your friends as well, so it could be worse for him. And Betty is actually considered the epitome of the suburban housewife, which reflects the home that they live in as well, because it follows that style too. So she's just presented as this perfect homemaker, does everything for her husband, helps the house. So she's really living up to that ideal, and unfortunately it turns out that she never followed in her mother's footsteps. She never became a superstar, which she could have been, to be honest. And you know what, I just want to take a minute. I'm sick of this storyline with EA. Like, it's been Betty, it's been a mum. Last week it was Jane Burb, Lucy Burb, Jane Burb, one of the two. They all gave up their big aspirations to raise a family, and I'm sick of it. Like, girls, you don't have to give up your big aspirations if you want to raise a family. You can do both. Or if you don't want a family, you don't have to have one. If you want to go out and become a rock star, do it. If you want to be a football champion, do it. Just do it! I'm just sick of reading the same old stories of girls being destined to do amazing things, and then it's like, oh no, they found a husband now, so that's the life. They're a housewife. Haha. So getting a bit bored of that plot. And I mean, it does fit with the whole 1950s thing, which is what the house and family vibe and everything's going for, but just a bit sick of it now. In between The Sims 1 and The Sims 2, Bob and Bay actually had a daughter named Brandy. She ended up marrying Skip Brog, who we know from The Sims 3 Riverview. They lived in the newbie house for a while. We can't really see this. It's not in any gameplay or anything like that. The only time we can see this is from I think it's the pictures from the family memories. Then we move on to The Sims 2, which is where most of us know and love the Brog family. So in The Sims 2, Bob and Betty are now sadly deceased, God bless their souls, and Brandy lives in a trailer in Pleasant View. The family is still notoriously poor, which is something that has been the same throughout all of the generations so far, hence the last name Bro. She has 2 children, Dustin and Bo. Now, you know when you're a kid and you pronounce something wrong and it just sticks in your head? I've always pronounced it as Bew. That's how I pronounced it as a kid, so me pronouncing it as Bo is really wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Bo. Bo. Yeah, it's Bo. So not Bew. Turns out 8-year-old me was an idiot. But anyway, yeah, there's Justin and Bo, and she's also pregnant with another child, but you don't know this until you actually play with the family and she develops a little baby belly. And there is theory surrounding this child, being that it's not Skip's child because it doesn't look like Dustin or Bo. But I think that this is just a developer issue because the child is actually conceived through the tombstone of life and death. If you played The Sims 2 and messed about with cheats, you'll know that tombstone. It was so powerful. With that tombstone, you can, in effect, get pregnant with yourself. Getting pregnant with yourself makes your child a clone of you, so it'll have all of your features, but they're always born as the opposite gender, so that child could have never been a girl or anything. The child's going to be the same kid no matter what. So that's why the boy is a boy but has Brandy's features rather than Skip's. So I don't believe the speculation about the child not being Skip's father or anything. I don't think it's a massive conspiracy. I think it was just something on the developer's part to be able to get her pregnant. If you haven't played The Sims 2, well, you might be wondering, what about Skip? Well, Skip, unfortunately, God bless his soul, died in a pool ladder accident. which I'm sure we're all acquainted with. This was back when you couldn't get out the pool with a ladder. The Sims 3 ruined that for us. And it's treated as suspicious, and it is an unsolved case. So one theory that I read believes that Brandy is the killer, because Skip is a romance sim, so they think that he was cheating on Brandy, so she removed the ladder. And this could make sense, to be honest, because her parents' home had a pool. She knows how they work. That's enough evidence for me to say she's guilty, apparently. But I did also read a theory in my comments. I forgot who posted it, so comment down below if it was you. But it said that it could be Brandy, because although the home is really lacking, like this is a very basic home with basic furniture, all of her bedroom stuff is quite expensive and it's quite nicely decorated. So maybe she's just really into money. She's sick of being poor and she killed him for the life insurance, but clearly never got it. So there is a couple of theories. Let me know if you have any theories as well, post them down below. And then her eldest son Dustin is a rebellious sim. To be honest, I always thought Dustin was a bit of a heartthrob, but yeah, he suffers in school. He's part of the, I've put military in my notes, like no honey, it's the criminal. So it doesn't sound like he's doing too well because he's failing school, he's a criminal. I know it sounds kind of bad, it doesn't sound like he's doing the best in life, but I actually feel really badly for Dustin. His family are absolutely dirt poor. His dad's just died and he's bringing income in the household in any way that he can, which yeah might be the criminal career, but not all options are open for people that are poor. Poor people sometimes have to go down them paths. Let's just get real for a second. Equality of opportunity is not the same for people of different incomes. I was feeling deep that day, oh my god. So he's bringing income into his home, but he's also lashing out over the loss of his father. It's kind of reflected in his bio because it says that he gets into trouble a lot, but what he really wants is someone to just tell him what to do. I think he really needs that stable figure in his life. So I feel bad. I feel so bad for these pixels. Like sometimes I have to stop and remind myself these aren't real people. Dustin is dating Angela Pleasant, which I did cover in the Pleasant video, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But the two seem to be opposites. Angela is like the angel golden child. Dustin is literally a criminal and he's enemies with Angela's father. So if you want to know more about that, go check out the Pleasant video so you can find out more. And then the second youngest son, Bo, which we know now, is a toddler, and his bio states that he finds it hard to escape his genetic destiny, which is pretty goddamn deep for a toddler. Like, let's just stop. Can he even talk yet? But hopefully he'll be able to with his mother's help. Well, he hasn't got much chance. So that's everything we know about the family in The Sims 2. And then from The Sims 2, we move back again to The Sims 3, but forward in time. Can be quite confusing, but Sims 3 worlds in themselves are on different timelines. So we get to Lunar Lakes, where we meet our last known reference of the Brog family, and that is Octavia Brog. She's a homeless sim who resides in the town, but she's not just like a waster. She's mastered the logic skills. She's very clever. Apart from the homeless thing, she's doing good. And she doesn't seem to have the ever-present slob and party animal traits, so this one's for you, Bo. You can escape your genetic destiny. So that is pretty much it. That is the last thing we know. That is all of the history wrapped up. So let me know what you thought of this video. Have you ever played with the Brog family? Who is your favourite Brog character as well? Mine is honestly Bo. I absolutely loved Bo. I really like toddlers in The Sims 2 though, so yeah. Did you know as well about all of the history and stuff? Because I had no clue. I just thought it was the Brog family and the Newbie family, and that was it. Leave your comments down below. The Caliente family is coming next week, so don't worry. I haven't just ignored the comments. I just wanted to get Brog done first because I love the Brog. So Caliente coming next week. I'm going to start these videos on a Sunday, so yeah, watch out. Please subscribe if you haven't already. My links will be up here, so you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, whatever you want to. And I will leave a link at the end of a playlist of this so you can watch more history of videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.